I feel like this is a Super Bowl contending team, but I've never seen a guy in his first year take a team to the Super Bowl.
No.
So by having Trey Lance be your starting QB, are you now taking yourself out of that Super Bowl conversation?
Well, I think if you're looking at it, right, Jimmy G was a mistake-prone quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. He's one of those game managers that he can throw you out of a game, right? He can definitely make mistakes to cost you games. I think they're looking at it like if we can be able to get him to just a game manager level with the talent that we have, I think we'll have a chance as he goes along in the season and gets better, because he will progress as the season goes along. He may shock us and be something completely different than what we expected.
Yeah, because right now they're not doing good at offense in training camp right now. But sometimes when you hear that, it's because the offense just isn't good. But the things that I've been hearing, I think that 49ers defense might be elite this year.
Yo, Beth. That shit crazy.
On a Saturday, it's All Even with your boy Barry Grant. You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at All Even Podcast. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google I'm all over the place, man. And trust me, go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment, because the page is growing. Chloe, what's up, man? Good. Nicole on the ones and twos always. You know, the silent assassin is what I like to call her. You know, I got my homies in the building today. What's up, Jeff?
What's going on, brother?
How you doing, Al?
I'm doing good. How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. You know, I have to be the villain early today, but we're gonna get into that a little deeper once I get out of this intro. Lots to get into, though. A lot of NFL talks we're talking about here. We're talking about Stafford. We're talking about the Stephen Ross decision. Deshaun Watson. There's news there in regards to the NFL said, we're gonna want to appeal this. LeBron James's extension. Is he gonna sign it? Is he not gonna sign it? KD's meeting with the owner, with the Nets. We're gonna see what happens there. The Brittney Griner situation. You know that has had the world on edge right now. You know, a lot of people are talking about it. Pretty interesting stuff. So we're gonna definitely dive into that. And then the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week. Oh, sorry. Dummy of the Week. There you go. There we go. I always mess up the wrong button. I don't care. It's my show. But listen, before I get into the topic that we're going to get into, Jeff, I got a bone to pick with you.
What happened?
I got a bone to pick with you, son.
Mm-hmm.
You, sir, made me go viral.
I did.
It was your fault.
It was my fault. What'd I do?
You were here when I said the whole Danny Ainge thing. You were here.
I was here.
You and my boy Derek, shout out to Derek. You were here and you agreed with me. So you should be in this wave of backlash and criticism as well.
Don't at me, please. You have his information. Leave me alone.
No. I gotta ask you now. Gotta ask you. So how do you feel about that video, blowing up the way it did?
I mean, I think you were right. I think that's why it blew up the way it did. That a lot of people felt the same way about Danny Ainge single-handedly strong-arming the NBA and changing the trajectory for the next year.
Yeah.
KD would have been out of here. Donovan Mitchell would have been out of here. But now can't nobody move. And I think you're right. Danny Ainge is a guy who wants to look smart, and the way he can look smart in his NBA in his mind is to have all these picks.
Facts.
Now the fact that these picks don't ever grow into anything, no one ever sees because he has more picks.
Right.
So I mean, if the video went viral, that's because so many people agree with you.
Look, man, the way I look at it is that anybody who wanted to say anything bad, this is what I think of you.
Dummy.
this is what I think of you. I don't know if you saw the video.
Yeah, I took a look at the video.
It went nuts.
But you were 100% right, though. I don't understand how people made you the villain. Danny Ainge did mess up the offseason for the NBA.
People are very emotional. What I've realized on TikTok is that people are very emotional. I just posted a funny video of Skip Bayless saying some wow shit, right? He said some wow, pause thing on air, right? Obviously, it's a joke. So I posted it as a joke, right? Mm-hmm. You got people, KD is such a bad person. Did you understand the context of what I just posted? You don't even realize the joke. You're just going straight to the emotion. I hate him. He's a terrible basketball player. He's no... That wasn't what the clip was about. Like, what's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all?
They're ready to react.
Yeah.
I mean, Boston stood up for their guy Danny Ainge. I think this podcast might hit over 250K too, because they were ready to come at you.
Oh yeah.
And you about to be the villain.
I'm always the villain though. I've worn the villain hat since you've known me.
All right.
This is 20 plus years of me being the villain.
So we already got Boston on deck for coming at all even. Let's see if we can get more people on that list.
Oh,
Listen,
easy.
Now, let's get into the biggest topic, obviously, right now. Brittney Griner got sentenced to 9 years for what she did in Russia. The world is on its ear right now. Everybody's upset. People are outraged. You had WNBA players. I think it was Skylar Diggins and a teammate. They talked about it briefly yesterday, and there was a lot of emotion. And listen, it's a sad situation. It really is, because she's an American, and I've said this on the show numerous times, and you don't want to see any of our people in a situation like that abroad, because being locked up abroad ain't fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, our jails here are fucking Club Med compared to what you have to deal with in other countries.
And I don't even want to be there.
You know what I mean? And you don't even want to be here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for her to have to experience this now, and possibly the ending of her professional career, it's a lot. But how I look at things is that certain choices that you make in life come with consequences. We have to understand that this is not America. They can be able to dictate whatever they want to dictate in their own country when it comes to us, because we don't make the rules there. We don't. So we may look at it as it's unfair, it's a lengthy sentence, it is what it is, but for them, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But it is unfair.
Is it really?
It is. There was a case last year of so Brittney Griner got caught with less than a gram of synthesized marijuana.
Right.
There was a girl last year who got caught with 19 grams of actual marijuana from America.
Right.
I believe she did 1 month in a Russian prison and had to pay a $230 fine.
Right.
So when I posted that, you know, the word political pawn is going over a lot of people's heads. She's being used by their government to poke at or to get at our government.
Right.
So it's not really fair that she's getting a 10-year sentence for less than a gram. My biggest issue, and I'm going to wear the villain hat with you for a second, how important is Brittney Griner really? Are we really going to give up the merchant of death for Brittney Griner?
Not doing it. Not doing it. Sorry.
If y'all watch the movie Lord of War, which the movie was based on him, there were wars that happened around the world that would have never happened had he not supplied them these weapons.
Correct.
I love black women. We all love women. We love our fellow Americans, but like,
there's layers to this.
If you're gonna sit there and put up the merchant of death,
right.
I want all the Americans.
Yeah.
I want everybody.
Right.
I need 4 draft picks on top of that.
Facts. I need the Rudy Gobert deal.
And you can have Maine.
But like if that's the case, then now America has to be like Danny Ainge, right? I'm gonna ask for everything.
Yeah.
And if you give it to me, that's the asking price.
And the problem with me on that whole merchant of death thing is we offered it. They didn't ask for it.
We offered it.
We said, hey, what about this guy over here? Would you give me this international arms dealer who's caused millions and millions of deaths through his actions for Brittney Griner and her less than 1 gram of synthesized marijuana?
And the WNBA player that
This is gonna be on YouTube. If 10 women could leave me a Brittney Griner stat line from any game or from any year, I don't know what you want me to. I'll denounce myself on Twitter, on YouTube. I'll come back here next week and say I was completely wrong. Y'all not watching her like that. Y'all wouldn't even know her name had she not been in this trouble. So my heart goes out to her. My heart goes out to her family. And I think this is definitely a miscarriage of justice. I'm not giving up the merchant of death. No.
And also, too, just to add to that point, I mean, you said it yourself, Jeff, that she's being used as a political pawn, right? This goes back to an awareness issue that I have, is that we as Americans and just people in the world don't pay attention to world situations. If I'm in a foreign country and I know that there's some political wars that are going on between my country and the country that I'm currently in, I need to make sure that I'm not doing something that's going to get me caught and they're going to have the chance to use me as a political pawn. Like, that's the whole thing. I will never go to North Korea. I don't care if they invite me. I don't care if there's going to be some award in my name. I'm not going there because, one, I don't understand the rules of engagement there. I don't know if they're going to be able to change certain things that whatever their guidelines or their laws are when I get there. And then something that wasn't illegal is now illegal when I get there, and now they're using me as a political pawn. I'm not doing that. I'm not putting myself in that situation because why? I have awareness. I understand what's going on around the world. I understand world issues. Everybody needs to learn, and they have to understand what's going on in the world around them. Your little bubble that you live in, there's bigger things that are going on.
And I think another problem is that a lot of Americans sit there and they try to transpose whatever it is our values are,
right,
and
in
what
other
we
countries.
Believe into other countries.
Correct.
And you just can't do that.
No.
The same way you can't expect somebody from Russia to come over here and for them to sit there and say, well, this is what we believe in Russia.
Exactly.
This is how I feel in Russia.
Right.
Why aren't you sitting there paying attention to that over here in America?
Right.
Like, you can't have that expectation. So everybody's sitting there saying that, well, it's just weed. It's less than a gram. We feel this way about it.
Right.
They don't.
Exactly.
And if you're gonna go over there, understand what you're walking into.
Right.
Because your medical card, whatever it is that you have over here in America,
It don't
means
hold
shit
weight over there. It
But
holds
also,
no weight over there.
What do y'all want us to do? Y'all want us to send in the troops?
Right.
Like logistically, when y'all like, oh, XYZ would have got her already. How? Like, what's the plan? Are y'all paying attention to do y'all know that we put out this proposal at the beginning of summer and they're just now answering us back? So when you're saying, oh, United States is sitting on its hands, did you do any of the research yourself to find out what exactly is going on? And then, fine, you've done the research. How are we going to get it back? We just send in the Marines, the Navy, the Air Force. So we're going to start a war over Brittney Griner? I love her. I actually watch women's basketball. I take my son to a game every year. I know much more about her than y'all do, and I can comfortably say that. We going to war?
You can't, man. You can't.
I'm sorry. I got the applause for you right there, just because at the end of the day, when you speak to people, and they always have this outrage, and I'm not gonna, question your outrage. I'm not gonna question how you feel about things. But what's the solution? We can always be outraged about something. We can always be mad. We can always have a emotional attachment to something. What's your solution?
Bingo.
What's your solution? And I can guarantee that majority of the time, it's crickets.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm not in charge. Yeah, okay, that's your answer. So if you're not in charge, if you have no idea of how this particular thing is supposed to be hashed out or worked out, then
yeah,
what are we really doing? What are we really doing? Because at the end of the day, Brittney Griner is there. She'll possibly be there. Maybe she won't do the whole 9. I don't see her doing the whole 9. You know what I'm saying? Because if they get what they want or they can be able to work out some deal, maybe she'll be home in 3. Maybe she'll be home in 4, whatever. But she's still going to have to do some time. Yeah. We all understand that.
I don't even think she's going to really be there for that long.
Yeah.
I think them giving her the 9 years or 9.5, whatever it is,
right.
That's Russia looking at America saying,
this
is
your
our
move.
starting point.
Yeah.
Ball's in your court.
Right.
This is what we get.
You might be right, yeah.
What are you going to sit there and do?
Right.
So I think politically because right now this isn't a basketball issue, this isn't a drug issue, this is all a political issue.
Correct.
So now it's in Biden and the administration's court. What are you going to do to save face in this environment that you're in to be able to get Brittney Griner home because the public outcry is XYZ?
Right.
And now it's just left up to them to figure out what they're willing to give up, what they're willing to trade, and how they're going to sit there and make this trade with Russia to be able to facilitate getting her back over here.
And what bothers me about that, I'm not going to lie to you, man, this touched a nerve for me because I have a lot of friends that served in the military. I have a lot of friends that are not happy about our position here. They're not happy about us just willy-nilly willing to trade something when there's thousands of Americans, there's thousands of soldiers in jail right now across the planet. But we not talking about them.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're talking about Brittney Griner.
And it all has to do with celebrity.
And we're talking, and let's just keep it 100. Those people fought for their country and got bagged, right? She got caught with an illegal substance. It's not like they just walked into a hotel, bagged her, and put her in jail. She did something to get convicted. Where are the other people that did nothing and they're sitting in jail rotting right now? That's what bothers me about the whole situation, is that people have selective outrage. Don't have selective outrage. I'm not going to do it here.
Yep.
I'm not going to do it here.
I'm with you on that.
So I feel bad for her because it's a tough situation. But at the end of the day, there's other people that we got to worry about too.
Yep.
And that's why I said at the top, if we're going to give you the merchant of death, give me everybody.
Right.
Give me everybody.
Yeah. You know what? Matter of fact, you know who needs to negotiate this deal? Call in Danny Ainge. Call Danny Ainge. Call Danny Ainge with the Utah Jazz. He's like, oh, they need a deal? Let's get a deal done. Yeah, listen, like I said, I see all the outrage. I see people talking about it. It's fucked up. It really is. But
yeah.
On to the next news topic for me. That's just the way it goes. Because that's how other Americans have been treated, and I have to treat it as such. It doesn't affect my life.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. Those other soldiers, those other people that I am close to, that have that feeling and that pain of their teammates, their fellow soldiers that are locked down, that's the people that I have emotion towards.
And they really feel abandoned. I mean, she's on TV every other week, and I'm sure she's not in the worst of Russian jails, because if anything happens when she comes out, she's going to have to speak on it. Like, so she's, I mean, not a great situation, but I'm pretty sure there's
she's not in a situation that there's other people in right now.
Correct.
Who are nameless.
Correct. So, we're going to go into the NFL stuff because there's a lot of NFL news, Claude. A lot of NFL news.
Can I get some DMT before I start my NFL? That's the way I'm going to give you my best takes.
Apparently. You got to take a trip to South America.
But we'll definitely talk about that after the break.
Yo, it's your man DJ G Money from that Flip the Script podcast. You see it? We in the studio right now. Flip, shut up. Yeah. Oh, listen. Shout out to the All Even podcast. My man Barry Grant Jr. What's up, man? What happened? What you want to say to the people?
Shout out somebody else's podcast.
Yeah, don't make it the joint. What's up?
All Even.
All Even podcast.
Yo, it ain't even up here, boy. We put this. Yo, what's up, man? All Even. Yo, you. Oh my God. What's up with you, man? Now you. Well, that's a shout out. You keeping this?
Yeah, keep all that. You want to jump
All
in the
Even
camera?
podcast, right?
Yeah, All
Shout out
Even.
to All Even podcast, right? All Even. That's your man.
My man.
All right, shout out to All Even podcast. You cool?
100%. He cool. Is he cool? Let me see. Is he cool?
G. What is it, G? Oh. Shout out, G. Oh.
Welcome back, y'all. So I'm just going to go out and say it. I'm just going to put it out there. The Miami Dolphins are a dumpster fire. And you know what it is?
Trying not to be.
You know what it is with me?
They tried.
You know what it is with me, Jeff? It's the fact that they are repeat offenders. Like, they just continue to do nonsense. And people just kind of turn a blind eye to it like it's fine. Like, let's think about all the things that have transpired within the last year that a lot of people don't even realize. They tried to get Sean Payton out of his job, so he quit, and they tried to hire him. Brady tried to literally finagle his way to the Dolphins, and Brady's not in trouble, but yet the Dolphins get in trouble.
Yep.
We had the whole Flores situation where he was told to tank games, and he would get $100,000 a game for tanking. Like, all of this stuff transpired within the last year. And all they get is what? So this is what's the fine? $1.5 million.
1.5.
1.5.
2 months away from the facility and
couple draft picks.
Couple draft picks.
It's first round, third round.
The one first round, and they have an extra that year.
Yeah.
But you got to remember that
2 months away from the facility.
Yeah,
2 months away from the
for the owner.
For the owner, he just
Stephen
can't be around
Ross.
the team
He
for
gets
2 months.
he's
and I
banned
think he
from the
can't go to
facility
meetings for the year, something like that.
They
like
took
league
him off
meetings.
a lot of committees that we never have heard of.
Like, yo, what kind of slap on the wrist is that?
$8.2 billion this guy's worth. They find him 1.5, and then
If we were worried about him, I could have said understand the players not going to the facility.
Right.
or maybe even the Jerry Jones.
But
With him?
Yeah, Jerry Jones is different.
He probably hasn't been to the facility in like 2 years anyway.
Shit open. He doesn't go there.
He probably has like one of the what do you call those monitors?
Yeah,
where he got the big ass monitor where he can just see everything that's going on there. So it's like he's there already. Like, what does he care? This is one of like for me. This is the thing with me with the NFL. They pick and choose when to bring the hammer down on certain people. Like this. Like, what do you think about the penalty? This is the softest penalty you can never think of in regards to like what transpired. This was some foul shit that they did.
Yeah. They upset the competitive balance of multiple teams. They definitely just had plain disregard for any of the NFL bylaws
Right.
in the way they did their business. Everybody understands there's tampering that goes on.
Right.
But the way they did, they didn't care.
Didn't care.
They were like putting shit in the subject of emails.
Out in the open with it.
like the shit
Like,
was
yo,
wild, bro. They were super flagrant.
This is
with
worse
it.
than the Hillary emails. Worse than
But I mean,
worse than the Hillary emails.
for the NFL, I can't admit that. There's too much money in gambling.
Right.
There's too much money. There's too much in the public believing that these games are truly competitive.
Right.
And there's too much in the public believing that there's nothing that we're doing to fix the games, and there's nothing that anybody can do to influence the outcome of these games.
Which means that they should have brought the hammer down on them to make sure
Absolutely
you keep that
Well,
reputation.
No, but for really quickly, what you're saying is that the teams are never supposed to acknowledge that they're tanking, which they don't. We can just see
Right.
by the personnel that they put out that they're
like the
tanking.
Texans, they were tanking.
They literally put in this man's contract, we'll give you more money for higher draft picks.
Right.
So, like, yes, they're not saying, how do you get high draft picks?
By tanking. By not putting the best
And it's in the
players out there.
contract. So, like, you
Paul,
can't...
which contract you talking
In
about?
the coach's contract, he gets
Flores?
more money for him. Flores and Hugh Jackson would got more money if the team secured the higher draft.
Right.
picks.
Well, my understanding of the offer was that it was a tongue-in-cheek offer.
No.
That's something extra.
They never found the $100,000 per game.
Okay,
but
yeah.
in general, in your contract, you would
Right.
make extra money if the team gets high draft picks. So, like,
There's only one way to get high draft picks.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
By not putting the best players out there. Like, yeah, this running back is a claim. He's very good. We need to sign him. No. We want the guy that works at CVS. We want this guy
when they
here.
unequivocally are going out with Tua,
He runs a
it's
four.
kinda like-
He runs a 4.7. No, we want Tua right now. He's the best quarterback.
Best
No, he's
quarterback
not.
in the team. Like, no.
Because Tua was what the 2020 draft pick, right?
Yeah, he was he top 3, top 5,
Yeah, I mean,
top
his
10, something
college
like that.
career was dope, and he definitely got drafted where he should be.
Right,
come on.
but he's
It's very
but in
quickly-
regards to
But
like
they
the
wanted
other,
Burrow, though.
in regards to the other players, the other quarterbacks, huh?
They wanted
They
Watson
wanted Watson,
first, then
yeah.
they wanted
Flores
Brady.
wanted Watson.
That's what they were trying to get.
Right.
And that shit went where it went.
Yeah, Flores wanted Watson, and they didn't want to do it. So, but my thing is this. So the NFL ruled that Stephen Ross was wrong. That they, whatever they did was not what they want, right? However, here comes the outrage hand. However, the whole Brian Flores situation, they deemed that as, it was just a tongue-in-cheek conversation. That's okay. So you give them the penalty for all the stuff that you found. But Brian Flores, oh no, that's a joke.
Where was the vitriol? The way they
What's
came
the outrage
at,
for that?
Where the way they came at Brian
Right.
Flores for even mentioning
Correct.
it. Now almost everything he said outside of the $100,000, that's the only thing they didn't find. They
Right.
found every single
Right.
else thing.
The $100,000, that's just a joke.
But
Because everything came from the Brian Flores conversation,
everything.
right?
But like, where's the backlash for Stephen Ross? Not even just with the suspension. The public. How many people came out and said Brian Flores was race baiting?
Right.
He was wrong.
Right.
He was lying.
Dragged him through the mud. Yeah.
And then they admit that Stephen Ross did everything he said he did, and a little slap on the
Hey,
wrist.
he was joking. So that's a joke. That's a joke.
Crazy,
Come on.
bro.
So, you see, this is why people don't like to play the black card a lot. I like to play the black card a lot because it makes sense to me.
A lot of times.
And what happens if Blind Forest tanks and then they get that super team? Does he get to stake around and actually coach that team?
Probably not.
Well, from what I understand with the entire the decision in that, they said the fact that Brian Flores was trying so hard to win those games is the reason why they said that they didn't take Stephen Ross serious.
But you know what's crazy about that? Here, and that's what I call idiot logic, right? Because if I come to you and say, Jeff, I'd like for you to kill my girlfriend or kill my wife, right? And then you go ahead and say, nah, I'm not gonna do that. And then you go to the police and say, listen, this is what's going down, and I'm just letting you know what's going down. And then I come out and say, we were just bullshitting around. The threat's still out there.
Yep.
It's a threat. You should take that personally, right? You should investigate it. You should actually take it seriously. So the fact that they actually came to a conclusion that Stephen Ross did all this foul shit, right? All this foul shit is fine. Like, okay, we're gonna fine you $1.5 million. We're gonna take you away from the facility, all this shit. But no. This part of it, he was joking. How the fuck do you know that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
if he was that sinister to do all of these other things, this doesn't fall in the same line of it.
Exactly.
How do you differentiate that to be that and this to be that?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
And a couple things too. I almost lost my train of thought. But now what you've really done is let the other owners know this only costs $1.5
exactly.
million.
So if that's the penalty, okay, so we just gonna be out there wilding now.
Because they didn't say nothing about the $300 million check he's gonna be getting in
Correct.
a couple months.
Correct.
And now I had to forfeit half of those to charities or
Correct.
half of those back to the league.
Correct.
Then you put the hammer down. You let every other owner know this is a no-no.
Or taking away sponsorships or stuff like that.
Blah, blah, blah.
Like,
You let them know.
That's money.
But $1.5 million, like, can I give you that after I get my big check?
That's like somebody going to Aaron Rodgers and say, you know what, the fact that you took these psychedelic drugs, we're gonna fine you $1.5 million. You know how much money Aaron Rodgers is making this year? That's not even a
drop in the bucket.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta spend that money.
You gotta spend that money. Like,
yeah.
Aaron Rodgers probably said I spent more on the psychedelics.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Now, this is actually a good segue to go into further NFL nonsense.
Punishment,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Watson was found to be guilty, and he was suspended 6 games by the third-party arbiter, right? The judge said that 6 games is enough. You know, what he did was reprehensible. Everybody, we all understand. We all in agreement that he's a creep. And the judge said the same thing, 6 games. And here comes the NFL and said, wait a second. You gave him 6 games. Yeah, we're going to give him 6 games because in your bylaws, I am not going to change the rules that you put in place.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give him more than what you've given other people. That don't make sense.
I'm an arbiter. My job is to look at the rules,
look at the
and
facts,
make a judgment
and
of
make
what you give me.
Exactly.
Not to rewrite your NFL.
Not to rewrite your history. You do that. So in tail, what does the NFL do? Now they filed the appeal and they want to suspend Deshaun Watson indefinitely, at least a year.
And then
at least a year,
$8 to $10 million.
And right. So they want to put a fine on it. And what they did was they hired their own third-party arbiter. But guess what? This arbiter has worked for the NFL before. So it's basically saying, okay, this third-party arbiter who has no business with the NFL made a decision. We don't like that, so we're going to get our own guy to make the decision for us.
Which is crazy because people have been crying, oh, Roger Goodell has too much power, you can't use the hammer. But this is the one case where if he just dropped the hammer and said, Deshaun, 12 games to a year, however $1 million
Nobody would have said anything.
No one would have said anything.
Nobody would have said anything.
But you chose not to go that route.
Right.
You can't double back. Now you have to rip up whatever new laws you just made for this. Now you got to rip those up because you just went back against everything.
You got to remember. You got to remember this though. He can't really just say this is the case where I'm going to choose to do this.
Yes, he can.
Wait, listen.
He actually can though, Al.
He can, but he can't.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, before this got decided and everything like that, we already agreed to everything through the CBA.
Right.
So everything through the CBA already said that we got to play this process.
Correct.
So Deshaun Watson and his lawyers already knew that if the NFL didn't get what they wanted in this situation, this is what the NFL was going to do. Right. The NFL might not have wanted to do this in this situation, but this is what they're forced to do. And you're a public company.
Right.
and you have to sit there and appease to the public,
Right.
and the public outcry was definite on this.
And also,
which is why he could have dropped the hammer.
And but see, I understand what Al is saying, Jeff, because it's in their CBA that they have to go to the third party arbiter to do certain cases that they don't want to rule themselves, to have that look of, okay, well, you guys didn't even give it a chance to have somebody else hear it. It's a public outcry, certain things. So they had to go that way, but then they still have the power to go the other way. So they have control of both aspects of the rule.
In the CBA, Roger Goodell has final say. In their new process, what Roger Goodell and the NFLPA agreed to was from now on, we're both going to agree to a couple of third-party people.
Correct.
Whenever we have cases like this, we're just going to listen to whatever these people say.
Right.
So Roger Goodell still has ultimate power, but he kind of put in like maybe a new edict, like, hey, we're going to at least try this. My whole thing is you not have to rip that up, because the very first case that
you went back.
You went back and you appealed.
Yeah.
So it's like it was ugly this is always going to be ugly. My whole thing is when we talked, I thought that the NFL shouldn't appeal, specifically because this is a new set of rules that you put in place, so you have to at least let it play out. But then once you appeal, Deshaun Watson's camp is now going to countersue. They might not win, but it's going to happen within the NFL season. And now the headline of this NFL season
is Deshaun
Watson versus the NFL.
Instead of all the other great moves.
Because at the end of the day, when he comes back next year, as long as he starts playing good football, we're only going to be talking about
and nobody's going to remember.
And it's not that they're going to remember. We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So why would you enhance that or lengthen that specifically for public outcry? Not to say the women aren't wrong for being upset, because 50% of the viewers are women, but now you're compounding something. At the end of the day, we learned through Ray Rice that the ratings are going to dip, but they're going to come back. We learned through Kaepernick the ratings are going to dip, they're going to come back. All y'all really care about is ratings. Let's not pretend that
and the money. Know.
So we know that your ratings are going to dip for the first couple of weeks, but it's gonna come back. Y'all just extended this whole thing, and that's my thing.
But the NFL really approached this wrong from the jump. From the jump.
1,000%.
From the beginning of the situation, by trying to make this a situation of right and wrong, of he did this and he did that, this is justice, this is not. The NFL should have approached it from an employer-employee situation. They should have said, you're my employee, you've made me look bad, I don't appreciate that, this is what my punishment is for making me look bad. I give a damn whatever the
I don't care
the
what
judge says, whatever the court says, whatever this. I don't even care. But like, not to say that the victims don't deserve care, but I don't care what the victim said. You've made me look bad and you've put me in a position. This is our contract. I'll pay you whatever pittance I got to pay you out of my pocket. But you can't sit there and be in my organization if this is how you've made me look.
Nah, I agree. I agree. I think at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is that, okay, he didn't do anything criminal, right? It's not criminal. He's not in criminal court and all that stuff. But what he did was morally reprehensible, right? That comes with its own consequences. Like, you can't do this and think that you're going to be able to just show up to my facility and be fine. Yeah. Like, you just did some wild shit. And at the end of the day, the reason why the judge, the third party arbiter, even gave him 6 games was she said that he showed no remorse. None. He showed up late the first time they met, and he continues to show no remorse about the situation. So it's like, that's even further, more evidence that I know as an organization, okay, now I gotta get you. Because you're not even sorry for what you did. So you don't care about your actions. You're going to do what you're going to do, and you're going to continue to embarrass me, embarrass all the other people that support you. Now I'm going to drop the hammer down on you just because of principle.
Yeah, that's why they want indefinite suspension, because if you only give him a couple of games, no matter what, he can always go back and just come back after those games. Indefinite suspension, it's like, oh no, we need you
to do certain things. Right. And if you don't do it,
counselor, and see where you're at. And if you're not at the place where we want you
then
to be,
we still going to keep you suspended.
Still going to keep you suspended.
Well, even the whole way this process played out, because they came out and they said we wanted indefinite suspension. situation.
Right.
That's what they said to the public.
Yeah.
Then they went down to Deshaun Watson and said, look, this is what we said to the
Exactly.
public. We'll do 12
Right.
and 8 mil. You give us
Right.
12 and 8 mil, we'll walk away from that. Deshaun said, no, I think I could do better.
Right.
And granted, he did do better. But now they said we got the power at the end of the day, so now we're gunning for that indefinite.
Right.
So we want that indefinite. We want you to have to come back to Goodell. We want you to sit there and have to go through this process, and you got to prove to me
Right.
that you're not the nasty man anymore
Right.
before you can sit there and come
then
back
the
and
money,
play the field.
And then the money, the agent and the Browns structured their contracts so they only makes $1 million.
Right, so because they knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So they knew it was coming. So him losing first, so that's not even a fine because you're just losing game checks.
Right.
The fines literally go to check.
Because they backloaded the deal because of
and
that.
that's a slap to the face of the NFL,
process.
So
Yeah.
the process.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
listen, whatever
Yo,
happens
dirty
to him,
business, bro. It's
I'm
complete
with it.
dirty business.
I'm just speaking of the legalities of everything. Like we can
He's not
discuss
the only
that.
one, though. Like I feel like it's a bigger game. The Texans are at fault. That's why they
Big time.
pay people.
But I don't look at it like that though, Claude. I don't. I look at it like it's like a kid that fucked up. You're the parent. You know that your kid fucked up, and you go into the person and say, "Listen, I understand what happened. I understand that this is the situation. We both know that he's a screw up. Here's money to be able to compensate you for your trouble." The Texans don't necessarily have to be liable for whatever happened. They're just looking at it like, yo, we know that this dude is a dumb out. We understand that what he did, and the only way that we're gonna be able to help you guys is to give you financial compensation for your trouble because he's a dumb out. But they don't have to be guilty in regards to what they did. They're just a parent in the situation that has a fucked up kid.
A lot of people were mad at that NDA that the Texans gave to Deshaun Watson in the middle of
shit
the
happens
season.
that-
Whatever.
every team does that.
Everybody gets the
Every
NDA.
team does that.
I don't even got to know what you're doing.
Right.
Like, take this NDA.
Right.
I don't want to know what you're doing.
They
don't get us in trouble.
Don't let it get back to us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It happens all the time. Listen, it's dirty business all around. Dirty
I feel like
business all
the
around.
only people winning this are Craigslist because I've definitely been back on Craigslist a few times ever.
Did you went to go get
I
on
was
the couch?
looking for no massager.
You
were looking
Definitely
for a
need a new
masseuse?
couch. I definitely need a new couch. No.
I really blame D-Hop in this.
Listen,
D-Hop?
I really blame Hopkins.
Why?
Because Hopkins should have said, "Look, I got these girls for you. They'll take care of you."
but Deshaun ain't
somebody should have had a conversation
Deshaun ain't
with
got to
him.
listen to that though, because he would have looked at D-Hop like, all right, cool. So you got these nice numbers, but I know I can go on Craigslist right now and get about 40 of these joints. So for your
66.
I get like 40 of them over here. And Deshaun and D-Hop looking at him like, all right, man, I tried.
Even
I tried
Edelman
to
threw
tell
a
you.
shot at him. He was like, "Yo, man, I came to the Patriots. We had a lot of good leaders. They kept us in check. They kept us from doing stupid things like getting massages every week. I mean, just catching strays everywhere.
Yo,
man.
dude, like Deshaun
He was
Watson.
wilding, bro. Like I be wanting to defend him sometimes, just some man shit.
You can't.
But, like you can't.
You can't,
son.
You
defend it.
can't.
You can't.
And
And you know
so
the thing.
many layers.
You know
bro.
the thing that bothers me too
I
about
want
the
to talk to
decision.
his friends though. Come, like, how
What
you
friends?
let your mans do this?
The friends that are getting money for him.
Oh yeah,
The friends that are just collecting a check.
wow.
Yeah, Deshaun, you doing what you doing, man. Just make sure my 100,000 is in the bank. You know what I mean? Like the yes men. Yes men's always gonna be around.
But that's completely different.
Listen,
And at the end of the day, you should have known that they weren't really going to hand out any type of big punishment to Deshaun, because at the end of the day, like the women who got victimized in this situation, you're talking about middle class to lower middle class black women trying to start businesses.
Right.
Like these aren't people that people are going to really try to protect. They're not people that they
That's a good
normally
point.
try to protect. So you should have never expected anything harsh to really come down for it.
Yeah,
Like,
and-
these women are faceless. These women are nameless in a lot of situations outside of the one who really put herself out there.
right?
Like,
That's a good point.
That's
a
a
good
great.
point.
That's a great point. That's definitely. And another good point that hasn't been made that I believe you made is in a phone conversation. People need to stop putting Calvin Ridley and anybody with PEDs.
Free Ridley.
Free Ridley, but like there are things that are in the NFL laws already. Upsetting the competitive balance, gambling. These are things that they've settled on years and years and years ago. Sadly, when they settled on those things all those years ago, domestic violence didn't rank anywhere near the top of that list.
Ridley
so we
bet-
don't have. I understand what you're saying, but they already have precedents for certain things. We have those in the actual laws. This is a sport, so if you're taking a drug, I can put in my laws of my sport. This is the type of games, or is this suspension, this is the punishment. I can't always regulate how you're going to treat your wife when you go home. And I can't always have that in my rule.
And the thing is, it was such a cut and dry bylaws that they set instead of broadening it and understanding that future cases can be worse than this. Because you think about Zeke's 6-game suspension, right? Mm-hmm. He was alleged for domestic abuse, right? Yeah. Alleged he got the 6 games. This is a guy that is a repeat offender of multiple cases. So how does it still, like, for that, you have, like, they never thought about, yo, what if somebody is out there and got like 50 charges, 50 cases? They never thought about that.
But I mean, why wouldn't you just multiply it though? I mean, they had 4. They had 4 people come up, right? Yeah. Zeke came up and Zeke had 1 person. So they had 4 people that they considered. 6, well, that's 24, right?
But no, but it's still 1 incident.
It's still 1 incident.
That's 4 incidents.
No. Watson's not a repeat offender. He didn't get in trouble for any. You found out about all 24 at once.
Right.
You didn't find out about one and then 3 months later another. And then you found out pretty much about all of them in one time frame. Okay. If he does this again 2 years from now.
Or 5 years from now.
Or 5 years from now, that's a completely different story rather than finding out everything at once.
If Watson get a speeding ticket 2 years from now, he deserves everything he got.
If he's late on his taxes,
he deserves everything he gets. And like the OJ situation, if you mess up again after this,
they continue to hammer my man OJ. So, like, they tried to get my man OJ too many times after that. He got off. Leave him alone. All right. Leave him alone.
So, but okay, speaking of punishments, come on, bro. We got to go to that next segment. We talk about punishments. Because my man Aaron Rodgers just outed himself. This guy has been the smartest guy in the room for the better part of 10 years. He always acts like he's smarter than everyone. But these past 2 years, bro, he has been fucking up. First, he's over here, I'm immunized. Like, we ain't going to go home and look at the dictionary and see what the fuck that means. And now my man's out here taking DMTs in America, and you just gonna tell people for the league? Like, come on, bro.
Not even did he just tell people he took DMTs. He said my back-to-back MVP season was due to me taking the DMTs.
We definitely gonna talk about this in further detail after the break. Welcome back, y'all. So, the fact that we have had such great quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, we admire these guys on a different level, right? The Elways, the Bradys, the Mannings, the Rodgers Staubach, every quarterback you can possibly name that has had some historical moments in the league, right? They all hold a certain place in our heart. But this one guy holds a place in our hearts for different reasons. He's a great quarterback, but I had no idea Aaron Rodgers was a hippie. I had no idea.
He tried to tell us.
I had no idea. This is a man that came out recently and said that his true back-to-back MVPs were not because he studied more, or not because he's been in the league for X amount of years and he understands what the defenses are giving him nowadays. It's not the fact that he's in a happy place in his life or in a marriage or kids and all this. No, none of that stuff. None of the normal answers that we get. No, it's because of what?
DMT.
Ayahuasca. He was on that peyote. He was on that peyote for the last 2 years, and nobody bats an eye. Is this not a violation? Is this not what? That's not weed, right? So what type of substance abuse is this under the NFL bylaws?
I think he was licking toads. I don't know if that's in the bylaws, bro.
I was about to ask, is that in the bylaws?
An apology, because apparently the way to getting better at football is not studying extra hard. It's taking a trip to Costa Rica and eating some psychedelics, getting lost in the desert or a jungle.
What has happened to Aaron Rodgers?
I think he tried to tell us though.
When?
Last off season, he grew out his hair and he was fucking playing that goddamn guitar. And no one paid attention, bro. No one paid attention. He's slowly descending into hippiedom, bro.
What is going on?
Then he gets that weird tattoo that he can't even tell you what that's about. It's like the planets align, but like from Jupiter, right? Like it's not even from Earth. Like,
but here's the
other. That was the ayahuasca.
Here's the other part that we're not talking about though. What if he has the best season that we've ever seen in the NFL?
And see, that's how
At
come
at that point, we might have to start giving the quarterback rookies
little DMT.
a little bit of DMT.
Like eat this plant before
Right.
you go
Like,
out there.
lick this, stick it under your
Please
tongue.
lick this and go to practice.
We're gonna cancel out the massages.
No more massages. We're gonna do the DMT. Like, yo,
Crazy, bro. And my whole thing is he felt comfortable saying this like in the offseason, like they're not gonna come looking
That's
for
the
him.
but bro, did you see how tripped out he looked in the interview?
Oh my god.
He wasn't even there.
No, there's a couple during the season after game interviews where he's just smiling. It's like, bro, y'all lost. He's like, everything's good, everything's all right. We'll be out.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Him breaking up with what's her name, Danica Patrick.
Oh, man.
that did a number.
I mean, I thought he started
He was
racing
normal
cars or
before that.
something.
Once he broke up with her, man, he just went left.
It's like when Common left Erica.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on, man?
That's still my quarterback though.
Still my quarterback. Still my.
Yo, he's
I'm
nasty.
I'm still gonna take him in
Nasty.
fantasy. I don't care. I may even go a little higher now. In fact, I know he on a
'Cause
substance.
You know what he did on the
Yeah.
offseason.
He
You
know he on
did.
some substances. Yeah. I know
Yeah.
what I'm getting out of Aaron Rodgers. I know what I'm getting out of him.
I just want to know what he's seeing when he's out there now.
Yo,
Not
No.
Devontae no more.
that's crazy. What does he see? Like, does he see bears coming at him or something? Like, if he's playing the Bears, does he actually see bears?
I'd be great for scrambling.
Yo,
Facts, bro.
that's crazy, son.
So where do you rank the Packers now? Where do you rank them?
I ain't gonna hold you, son. If I gotta rank them, they gotta be in the top 3 with me.
Number one in my heart.
Gotta be in the top 3 with me. If we talking about the best quarterback in the league, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron because of that DMT. He's the best. He's the best. Definitely the best. But- yeah, go ahead.
Rodgers is your number one?
His game is so pretty, Al. His game is
You-
so beautiful.
that's
to watch,
the thing
bro.
with me. It's like when I think about other quarterbacks in the league, right? You got your Wilsons, you got your Bradys, you got your Pat Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers does everything that they do.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy, if you take all of their games in different phases of their career, Aaron Rodgers was that. Aaron Rodgers was a scrambling quarterback. He can be able to escape the pocket and extend plays.
Is he still though?
He can still do it a
can
little
still do
bit.
it, bro.
Aaron Rodgers has a cannon. He's accurate. He can command an offense. He knows what the defense is giving. All those quarterbacks have those abilities. He has those abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, until he starts to really decline, Aaron Rodgers is always going to be the best quarterback for me.
You know, you was in the chat when people was telling me Patrick Mahomes is better than Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, whoa.
Patrick Mahomes wants to be Aaron Rodgers.
Let his
I
career
think
breathe.
Patrick
Let
Mahomes
his
has
career
more
breathe.
talent.
Let his career breathe, though.
I don't
Like,
even know,
that's-
man. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
It's kind of like this. I think Patrick Mahomes has more talent, and I think because Patrick Mahomes, I don't think we've seen his best right now. So I think eventually, when Aaron Rodgers has finished his career and Patrick Mahomes has finished his career, Patrick Mahomes' best, maybe, and this goes to show you how much I think of Aaron Rodgers. It might be better than Aaron Rodgers.
You know what's crazy? Here's a hot take about Patrick Mahomes that I have. Patrick Mahomes, to me, is all raw ability right now. I don't necessarily think that Pat Mahomes thinks the quarterback position. I don't believe that he looks at defenses and breaks down defenses the way elite quarterbacks are supposed to. I just think that he's basically going off of raw ability. Because when I see certain throws that he decides to make or certain decisions that he makes, that doesn't scream top flight quarterback to me. He makes some bonehead decisions for a guy that has kind of amassed a lot of accolades in his career so far. The MVP, a Super Bowl champion. But there's certain levels of his game that still need work and that they should be farther along at this point to me.
That's scary.
Well,
He's been in the NFC. He's been in the AFC Championship game since he's been here.
But
and him not being fully matured as a quarterback, when he finally hits that stage, when he finally hits that stage, it's gonna be scary. For the league.
I'll say this
Yeah.
for something that a lot of people don't give a lot of credit to. Like I've been an Andy Reid truther for like 20 years now.
You're an Eagles fan.
So yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
whatever it is.
We'll talk about that
just
later.
threw up in my mouth just now.
But I've been an Andy Reid truther for forever.
Yeah.
Andy Reid had Donovan McNabb at damn near MVP level every single
Correct.
year. He had the Eagles with Donovan McNabb
in
as
the
the quarterback in the
NFC
NFC Championship game, in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So you really need to give a lot of credit to Andy Reid.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Yeah.
Andy Reid's system.
So see, I was making my point is that
I really want to see what Patrick Mahomes is on
post
his
Andy
own.
Reid.
Yes.
Post Andy Reid. Because the thing is, you say that when he gets it, he doesn't necessarily have to get it. Like, you just assume because a guy has all of these physical tools and these abilities that the IQ gets better. Oh no, we've seen Russell Westbrook in basketball. Well, physical tools, he's a triple-double. He still has no basketball IQ. So it's not a given that this guy is going to all of a sudden, with age, understand the game at a certain level. It's not for everybody to get that. Kirk Cousins has been in the NFL how long, and he still ain't got much IQ.
Don't talk about Kirk like that.
Listen, that's my guy, but he's the median quarterback of that.
He is
the number 16 quarterback in
every
the
year.
NFL.
You want to hear another hot take?
That's the line for me.
He's the white Dak Prescott. I said it.
I can't argue that.
I said it. I'm a Cowboys fan. I said it. I don't care.
The Cowboys are cooked this year, bro.
Then we all
They're
definitely
done.
cooked this
They're
year. We
done.
still gonna win the division.
They should.
What?
They better win.
We still gonna win the division.
First of all,
I heard Daniel Jones is actually doing his thing, but
Daniel Jones, Mr.
listen.
Better use my strong hand, Daniel Jones.
I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared of the
train.
Giants this year because Dayball did a lot. Like my personal take for best quarterback in the league right now is Josh Allen. But Dayball did a lot with Josh Allen.
Definitely
so
fair.
I'm really scared to see what he's gonna do with Daniel Jones because where Daniel Jones went to school again?
Carolina.
he was a Manning. He's a Manning.
Was it Carolina?
But
I wouldn't pay attention.
I don't remember. But
Claude, look that up for me.
But Daniel Jones wasn't necessarily a bad. No, Duke. I think he went to
Was
Duke,
it
right?
Duke?
Duke.
Yeah, it's Duke.
So Duke, he wasn't necessarily awful at Duke.
No.
So what Dayball did with a lot of people love Josh Allen, and me, I love Josh Allen today. A lot of people don't remember how bad Josh Allen might have been when he first came into the league. So Dayball had a lot to do with that. So
But he had a lot of talent to work with, though. So when you have talent, it's easy to be able to mold the kid to be able to get to his potential faster than when you have no talent.
Yeah, remember they went out and got stuff like Diggs and everything.
Right,
and everything. Like I won't necessarily say Jones is no talent.
Yeah, I won't say that either.
But
My bad.
no,
They
but
have no running game.
Correct.
yeah,
I mean, they got Saquon, but they really have no running game.
Saquon got to get a check this year. So
Oh, the Bills, yeah. The Bills need to get a running.
they
back.
got Little Cook this year.
Yeah?
in the draft. Yeah, Cook's little brother.
Okay. You think he's good?
I think he's great. He's really good, especially in the passing game.
Yeah,
so I think
families tend to do well in the NFL.
Okay.
So I think if you sit there and if you try to put Little Cook out there, and I'm sorry for calling you Little Cook, but
He ain't earned his name yet.
he ain't earned the name yet. He's Little Cook, but I think if you sit there and you try to make him the feature back,
Right.
you might mess up. But I think if you sit there and you try to do Moss, Singletary, and him,
Yeah.
you got a nice little tandem over there.
Three-head monster.
Three-headed monster plus
I
Josh
still
Allen over
think
there at the top.
I still think the
Now, can one of y'all pull up the power rankings for the NFL? The power rankings just came up, and I'd love to go over the top 10 power rankings and see why they came to the decision that they came to for certain things.
I just know that the Eagles are where they're supposed to be.
I know the Falcons are where they're supposed to be.
So who's
number 32?
So who's number one? Let's go to the top 10. Who's number one right now?
From what I'm looking
to
at,
be the Rams.
the Rams are number one.
Okay,
right
so
now.
the Rams are number one. How do we feel about the Rams being number one?
I think it's a mistake.
About Stafford's shoulder? No, I mean, how do you feel about Stafford's shoulder?
His elbow.
His elbow.
Listen, it's the fact that this is an injury that a quarterback is not supposed to have. It's a problem.
Isn't it
because
the same thing that Roethlisberger had?
No, I don't believe so. But this is
Roethlisberger goes on his non-throwing.
yeah. The timeline for this was, remember, he had issues with the same elbow last year.
Last year, they still won a Super Bowl.
He toughed it out. They gave him a shot in the offseason, let him chill out for a while. He thought that he can be able to go to just regular ramp up activities, and now there's some inflammation, there's some issues there. So I don't know how they're gonna have to approach this. But if Stafford is not healthy, the Rams are in big trouble.
Yeah.
because they're saying that Walford, the backup, he can be able to hold down the fort for, I'm sure he can probably hold it down for 4 games. But when we're talking about a long period of time, I don't know if the kid can do it. Can he? Maybe he might be the next best quarterback. We don't know. But there's a lot riding on the season for the Rams for them to even have to take that risk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that they may have to bring somebody in. I honestly believe that they should call the 49ers and go get Jimmy G as a backup.
I was just about to say that.
I think Jimmy G as a backup can be able to hold the fort down for a decent period until Stafford can be fully healthy. Because that defense with Bobby Wagner, you still got Aaron Donald there. You still got what's the cornerback? Ramsey.
Yeah.
They're still the best defense in the league to me. So for me, they have to make sure that they get a quarterback if Stafford cannot go that has experience and can be able to go.
Yeah, but the Stafford injury, because I really haven't had a chance to go into it.
Yeah.
Is that something that's going to keep him away from the beginning of the season?
It's possible.
Because then Jimmy G's not the answer. Jimmy G's not ready to go now.
Jimmy G's healthy right now.
He's healthy right now.
He's
healthy
Yeah.
right now, yeah.
And they still didn't practice with him? That's crazy.
Nah, they just hold him out. They
just made the decision.
They
They're
have
going with
made the
Trey Lance.
decision to just part ways.
And how do you feel about that decision with Trey Lance?
You got to do it. You got to do it. Like, once you did everything you did to get Trey Lance.
Yeah, I think
it.
even if he wasn't ready, I think they still had to throw him out there because you invest so much in a guy that high, you have to go with him. You can't let him sit 2 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no reason. There's no explanation that you can be able to go to the press as the GM, as the owner, as whoever is in charge of the 49ers and have questions. They answer you guys like, why is he not on the field? It's been 2 years. Why is he not here? Those are not questions that you want to answer if you're an organization.
Like,
so they
unless you got a
him.
Brett Favre.
Correct.
Unless you got a Brett Favre.
Right, unless it was an Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre situation.
My
right.
only thing is, I feel like this is a Super Bowl contending team, but I've never seen a guy in his first year take a team to the Super Bowl.
No.
So by having Trey Lance be your starting QB, are you now taking yourself out of that Super Bowl conversation?
Well, I think if you're looking at it, right, Jimmy G was a mistake-prone quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. He's one of those game managers that he can throw you out of a game, right? He can definitely make mistakes to cost you games. I think they're looking at it like if we can be able to get him to just a game manager level with the talent that we have, I think we'll have a chance as he goes along in the season and gets better, because he will progress as the season goes along. He may shock us and be something completely different than what we expected.
Yeah, because right now they're not doing good at offense and training camp right now. But sometimes when you hear that, it's because the offense just isn't good. But the things that I've been hearing, I think that 49ers defense might be elite this year.
Yeah, I think
elite.
Their strong point is going to be the defense.
Their strong point is going to be their defense. So, like I said, they're in a win now Super Bowl mode, and I'm just not sure if Trey Lance really gives them the best chance to win.
They won't.
We'll see, man.
They put the wax on Aaron Rodgers 2 years.
So who's number 2? We got the Rams. Rams won. Who's 2?
I think the Bills might be number 2.
They have to be the Bills because there you go, Bills. Because
Bills. So we ain't gotta say much about the Bills. Bills are solid.
Bills are solid.
Yeah,
Bills are solid. They're gonna be there again. Who's number 3?
Chiefs
Bengals.
are number 3.
Chiefs.
What are you
Chiefs are
looking
number 3.
CBS NFL. Yeah. Chiefs are number 3. The guy's been in the AFC Championship every year since he's been here. You have to give him that. You have to give it to him.
But the weapons.
He's missing Tyreek Hill. Let's see how he does without him.
That's the icing on the cake.
Right.
Icing on the cake.
That's what's going to determine if he is who he think he is.
Yeah, but Travis Kelce's getting old. Mecole Hardman, man.
Travis Kelce now is going to get a lot more attention.
And he shouldn't, because he's getting older.
Yeah, so it's like we're really going to see what Patrick Mahomes is about this year.
Who's that new kid that they drafted?
I don't know, but I think Pringle's going to be their number 1.
Pringle's. I think Mecole Hardman has a chance to break out. I definitely do. I think he has talent. Is he a stud?
He's a speed guy.
What about MVS
Tyreek
over
Hill
there?
was like 1 of 1, bro.
And we're still thinking. Remember, Juju's over there too.
Juju's over there. You got MVS because MVS had a really good rookie season with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he couldn't get open last year in the NFC Championship game. Him, was it Lazard? Aaron Rodgers had his hands tied behind his back, and that's a game that
He should have hit Lazard on that crossing. He should have never went for Devontae
Yeah,
Adams.
that's
though.
another show.
Right. Who's for?
I'll tell you right now. Packers number 4.
Okay.
Makes sense. So pretty much the last 4 of last year. Then you have Buccaneers number 5.
How do you feel about the Buccaneers being 5?
They got Brady. You got to put him up there, but I feel like
I don't think they make it that high.
I think they might have checked out. I think Brady might have really wanted to go to Miami. Really
How many O linemen they lost?
They lost Jensen. They lost the center.
They lost the center.
Who's the first
Is that
guy
for the
Tom
season?
Brady called in the offseason. So like their relationship, like that's the guy who hands him the ball. So that's definitely going to be a little hard. I guarantee the over under is going to be 2 balls going over Brady's head. At least
Pause.
The under over is 2.5.
Hey,
though. I definitely see that happening.
My goodness.
So number 6 in the rankings, the Bengals. I think it was just like found money last year. I don't think they're gonna be the team.
They got them
were.
6?
I got them 6. That's too high.
Is that the same list you got?
That's too high. Which list? I mean,
What
tell me
list
I was
you
looking
got?
at
Al?
USA Today.
I have CBS NFL.
USA Today came out yesterday.
Yeah, let's pull up the USA Today, see if it lines up.
I'm off. Hold on.
I got Pro Fantasy Football up too.
Oh nah, that's the one. The pro.
Go to Pro Fantasy.
Yeah. I'm not really fantasy, just pro football.
Pro Football Focus,
Yeah.
PFF. All right, so PFF got the Bills at number 1. Well, hold on, let me take a look at this right here. Let me make sure I'm looking at what
I have a love-hate relationship with PFF.
Yeah, they got the Bills at number 1 right now. I agree with that.
Which one are you looking at, Claude? The same one?
And then they got the Buccaneers at number 2. I think that's a
crazy.
far cry. I think that's
a far
crazy.
cry.
That's
Yeah.
Brady love right there.
Yeah.
That's Brady love.
They got the Rams at number 3. I don't see the Rams going deep into the playoffs, to be honest with you.
Okay.
They have such an aerial attack. Have you seen Allen Robinson over there?
I think to be honest with you, I think Allen Robinson this year is their number 1. I think Cooper Kupp had the Triple Crown last year. I think Allen Robinson this year
I
is
ain't
their
gonna lie
number
to
1
you.
receiver.
Cooper Kupp is unstoppable.
They
Yeah.
still have, what's the name though? They still have Robert Woods coming back this year.
Nah, Robert Woods is on the Titans.
Yeah, nah, he left. Yeah,
They
he
traded
left.
him. He's
But
on the
now
Titans
they
this
got
year.
the young boy. They still got Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson hurt.
Yeah, but he'll be back. He'll be back.
Eventually,
He'll be
but
back.
they got Kansas City at number 4. I don't know how I feel about that. They got the Chargers at number 5. I believe in the talent, but they're snake bitten. I just can't.
Right.
I can't put the Chargers high.
That's all Herbert love
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
They people listen. Herbert's the man, but I'm not gonna put them that high.
Nah.
They got the Packers at number 6.
Right?
We already talked about them. They got Denver Broncos at number 7.
Okay.
Atsu. That team's been good for
Denver's
the past
loaded.
2 years.
I think- I
They
think-
finally got a quarterback.
Denver's defense
Right.
has been ridiculous for the past
Yes.
couple of years.
And
I think you
their
insert a
running
quarterback,
game is underrated.
Yeah.
highly underrated.
They had
All they
those
needed was
two
a
guys
QB,
had
they
good
good.
seasons last year, man, and they literally split them 50-50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn near down the line.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So they have two bona fide studs at the running back position.
They got Cincinnati at number 8. I really think that with the revamped offensive line that Cincinnati has, because anybody who builds a football team, who understands anything about a football team,
Need a
it
line.
starts right there at the
Absolutely.
line. If you don't got a line, I don't care who you got out
They
there.
got
because
lucky
can't
last
do what
year
they gotta
even
do.
getting to the Super Bowl with that line.
How many times did the
9.
Titans sack them? 9 times
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Like, it makes no sense.
Right.
Then they got the 49ers. We were just talking about their defense. They got Cleveland. I think that's left to be determined with what happens with Deshaun Watson. I
Okay,
think
so that's Pro Football Focus's top 10.
Top 10
What
right
about
there.
the USA Today? What do they have?
USA Today, let me see. They have the Rams at number 1.
Okay.
Bills at 2.
Uh-huh.
Bengals at 3.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Packers at 4. Chiefs at 5. The Ravens at 6.
Okay.
The Bucks at 7. Chargers at 8. Eagles at 9, deservedly. And the
So this is the rankings that everybody's been talking about.
And the Colts
this
at
one
10.
right here, the USA Today one, is what everybody's been talking about, because the one team that's in that top 10 that people are shocked about are the Eagles.
The Eagles.
I don't understand why.
The Eagles at number 9. Claude, what do you think about that?
It's a reach.
This
Yeah.
is definitely a reach. Jeff?
That's a lot of draft love.
Now, we have an Eagles fan here, Al. I need you to go into detail about how this makes sense and how it doesn't make sense. Go ahead.
Because here's the thing. We really had a bad passing offense last year.
Correct.
Now we have A.J. Brown on our
Right.
team. And I think that really changed the dynamic of it, and we still had the number one.
If he can stay healthy,
is healthy,
yeah,
is healthy right now. And I think that with the fact that we had the number one rushing offense last year, when you combine all of that, we deserve to be up there.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to sit there. I think we're easily going to take the division.
Wow.
Easily take the division.
Bold words, my friend.
yo, as
It's
a
the
Cowboys
NFC
fan,
East.
I'm insulted.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean, what receivers do you have right now?
We got CeeDee Lamb.
I mean, but what running backs do you have right now?
I mean,
What you mean we got Pollard?
I think Pollard's going to be receiving
Pollard's
running
dope.
back.
The
He's definitely
fact
gonna-
that-
They're gonna keep him on the field
Yeah.
all the time, so he's gonna be
Yeah,
running
he's gotta
back as
get
well
there.
as a slot receiver.
I think the
He's
fact
gonna
that
be
you
dangerous.
mentioned Pollard before you talked about Elliott, and the fact that they're sitting there talking about featuring Elliott.
I mean, we have no choice. We
You're
have to
cooked.
feature him.
You're cooked.
Yeah,
Well,
feature
it's
him.
not people in the Cowboys talking about featuring Elliott. Those are analysts or sideline analysts. I mean, at the end of the day, he gets paid a certain amount of money, and he's like still a good running back, so you need him. But I don't know about feature.
Right.
That's a strong word. If
Listen,
he gets 15 carries a game, I'm happy with that.
I think that the hard work that Zeke has put in the offseason, I commend him for.
Mm-hmm.
He lost a lot of weight. He's gotten himself in great shape. He's changed his eating habits. He's committed himself finally to trying to stay healthy all season. Is it going to translate on the field? I don't know, because he's taken a lot of punishment. And, you know, he's over here talking about Hall of Fame and all this nonsense.
Crazy.
It's like, bro,
Crazy.
you
You're talking about a running back that every single year of his career, he's declined.
Right.
He sat there and he had one of the most outstanding rookie seasons I've ever seen.
Ever.
Like, even his first 3 years, were if you bottled up his first 3 years, that's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's all
worthy.
time. Definitely.
But
Since
everything,
then,
you got to tack on everything after that.
Definitely. No, I agree. I mean,
But like if the NFC East goes to anybody but the Eagles, I'd be shocked.
Right.
Shocked.
Well, let's be real, bro, because the NFC East has been very, very cyclical. There's not been a lot of double champions.
It's always been that way.
It's always been that way. There's always somebody who comes up from the rear, pause, that we don't ever see coming. And so, I mean, the Dallas and the Cowboys are fighting it out. And to me, the Cowboys have a clear advantage. I see their schedule, and even without other weapons, I think they're going to run over a lot.
Cowboys lived and died by takeaways last year.
yeah.
They lived and they died by takeaways.
That is true.
They were number one in takeaways.
Yeah,
last year.
that's the second year with Micah. Trayvon is always going to be.
You show me the defensive team that has ever gone 2 years in a row.
We're going to show you. We're going to show you this year.
Number one in takeaways.
All right, I still believe my Cowboys.
It's never happened.
I still believe my Cowboys, but listen, we're gonna talk some NBA and some other stuff.
Cowboys move the needle, bro.
Yeah, after the break. After the break.
Yo, it's the Cigar Gents and Gals. I want to give a shout out to my boy Barry for All Even Podcast. Keep doing your thing, bro. Killing it.
Welcome back, y'all. So I ain't gonna lie to you. This topic here makes my heart sing. Does. Makes me feel good about myself, because all the stuff that I've been saying about this one player,
I feel like it's going to be a Westbrook topic.
it's all vindicated.
Uh-oh.
I thought we changed his name.
The Los Angeles Lakers have given Darvin Ham free reign to be able to bench Russell Westbrook. This, to me, is the best news I've heard all offseason. Because the fact that poor Frank Vogel was in a situation last year, he wasn't able to do what he had to do, and then management said, all right, Frank, listen, I know that you're having a rough time with Russ. You can bench him. And Frank is like, nah, but if I bench him now, it's not going to do anything I'm still going to get fired. Yeah. So the fact that the new coach now has a mandate come down the first year, man, I love this. This may push Russell Westbrook out the door even faster. So if this is going to happen, if this is a mandate that they put down and it's going to allow Russ to leave, I'm all for it. What do you think, guys? What do you think?
Do you think that hurts his trade value, though?
His trade value is already hurt. Nobody wants him.
The fact that the Lakers got to sit there and offer compensation
Right.
to whatever team.
We have to give people things for them to take him. And they still don't want him.
Yo, that's so disrespectful.
How the mighty have fallen.
Bro,
Oh, shit,
we
that's
have
crazy.
to put every team that has, or the Lakers have contacted about a trade, they ask for the same thing. We want both your first round picks, 27 and 29.
Yeah, that's...
So think about it. The compensation that the Lakers have given Like they traded away assets to get Russell Westbrook. For you to have to trade more assets away just to get rid of him is wild.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if I'm management, I got to do it.
How much would a buyout cost them? They have to buy out the entire contract.
Well, the
or just
buyout
one
is
year?
$47 million, bro. So for a buyout to make sense, I think he would have to maybe give them back like $9 or $10 million
He's not doing
to
that.
make it make sense.
You said it's what, 47?
47.
9 to 10 million is not going to make a difference. Just pay the 47.
Nah, you can't.
It makes a difference in regards to like buyout reasons.
Yeah.
For you know, there's people that understand the cap way more than I do. But there's like John Wall took a buyout from the Houston Rockets, and I think he gave them back like $8 million or something like that just to get out of it. And
But
then
I
he
think-
signed a 2-year deal with the Clippers.
But you think Westbrook does that?
No.
No. A, it doesn't look good for him. This is his hometown. He came back to play for the Lakers. And B, him accepting that buyout is kind of accepting responsibility and culpability of you're not the player
And also,
we thought
too,
you were.
also,
at least
too.
with John Wall, there was an injury involved, and he just wants to get out of it.
Right,
So it
and
makes sense.
and people still feel that John Wall can play.
Yeah.
If Westbrook gets bought out right now,
He might be
what
done.
what team signs Westbrook? Seriously, because when you're gonna sign him with the notion of that he's going to be a second unit guy, right? You're not signing him to be your starter. Is Russ going to accept that? He's not. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem that they having right now. So, you know, they're still in contact with the Nets. They're still in contact with the Utah Jazz in a trade. I heard Patrick Beverley and some other guys are maybe in a deal. They may be trying to finagle a 3-team deal with the Knicks and some other people involved as well. So we'll see, but they can't go into the season with Westbrook. So I think whatever information that they trying to leak right now to make him look like, all right, cool, like this doesn't even look like a path that I can go down. I'm just gonna take a buyout or just whatever. I'm just gonna stay home or whatever it is. I think that's what they're trying to angle and doing because they've been, Russell Westbrook, he's so great and this and that, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, they're publicly trying to trade him.
Yeah.
He knows this. Him and Braun ain't connecting like that. Like, they got issues right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing segueing into LeBron James is eligible to get a contract extension right now. He was eligible on August 4th to sign a 2-year max. So at his age, the NBA bylaws is that you cannot give a player age 38 more than a 2-year maximum contract.
Yeah.
So the deal is on the table for him to sign. He hasn't signed it yet.
48 million?
97 million.
48 per year. That he can't
Yeah,
get more
something
than
like
that.
that.
You
Yeah,
can't
it's
get more than
$97 million over 2 years. So the deal is on the table. They've had talks. Things are going well, they said, according to sources. But I think it's all going to be predicated on what they do, what moves they make.
Yeah,
Can they
'cause
get Kyrie? Can they add to this team and make them a championship contender? Because Braun doesn't want to leave.
Yeah.
He wants to be a Laker. But if you force his hand,
He's out.
he gonna be like, all right, if you force my hand, I gotta get out of here because I'm not gonna stay my last remaining years like how Kobe did. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna stand here the last remaining years like how Derek Jeter had to deal with. Like, I'm not doing that. It's all about making sure that the Lakers are contenders and that they have a shot. Not saying that they're gonna win, but have a shot to at least be in the conversation. That's what they need to do.
I think the best way to do that is for him to give back some money, and you know he's not gonna do that.
He said that after he left Miami and went back to Cleveland, he said in his little note that he wrote back in the Players Tribune, he will never take less again.
Yeah, he said point blank,
Right.
I'm never
He
taking
will
less than the
never
max
take
deal.
less than the max again. And I understand that because if he takes less, you're now going to have GMs all across the NBA looking at the star players like this.
I think
And for that, it doesn't move the game forward. NBA's making money hand over fist. If you as an organization can't spend your money on the right players and you're just giving out big money to the wrong players, that's your business.
That's what I'm saying.
Me as a player, I'm not taking less.
That's what I'm saying. It's one thing for a player in his prime to take less. You never want to do that.
Braun's still in his prime.
Technically, yes. Yeah. No, he's doing. No, listen.
If the man didn't sit out, if the man didn't sit out,
he was
the
in
last
MVP conversation,
the last few games of the season, if he didn't sit out, he would have won the scoring title at age 37.
Of the year,
I mean, I don't
come
know.
on, man.
You gotta
I mean, he done won the scoring title, but I don't know if he's in his prime.
Bro, he averaged 27, 7, and 7.
He's at the
But he still don't look like Miami. He will never ever look like Miami.
We talking about the destroyer of worlds. Like that was a different man. Like,
so
you know what I'm saying?
So what I'm saying is that's his prime.
Right now,
he's never gonna get
back
that.
end of his prime.
That was the apex. That was the height of it.
Now, if you sat there and you told me LeBron is better than the majority of them out here, then I'll take it.
All right, so we can go there. I'll
take that. But don't tell me prime LeBron, because I know.
You don't think he's top 5 or 6 at least?
Top
right now?
5 or 6 is not prime LeBron.
I understand what
you
you're saying.
understand what I'm saying to you?
Prime LeBron is number 1. Like undisputed number 1.
Like you can't question.
Okay, so a player in his 9th year, I don't think should be taking less. A player in his 19th going on 20th year.
Right.
And I can't say the money is made, but yeah, the money is made. And where the team is, they have the $47 million albatross on their backs. You giving back money because we can't get rid of Russ, we can at least get you more players. What you need and what we both need is a championship.
Here's the thing.
You're always going to make that money back.
Now, I hear that logic, and that's sound logic, because that's what Tim Duncan did. That's what a lot of other players did.
Took like $10 million a year?
Yeah, but here's the problem. LeBron James owes the Lakers nothing. He came here without any superstars. Came here and played with those kids that first year, right? Got hurt, and then they went to go get Anthony Davis. They won a championship. So he got you a title that you wouldn't get without me.
Yeah.
I am not taking less for you. You are the GM. You're the owner. It's your responsibility to build the championship team around me and AD. It's not my business to help you build this team out. That's the way it goes. Mm-hmm. I am due this money. I'm owed this money. I'm going to take every piece of it. It's your job to be able to put the right players around me to be able to make this work. I told you that Russ was a good deal. It didn't work out. You had ample amount of chances to trade his ass, and you still haven't done it because you don't want to sacrifice future draft picks. That got nothing to do with me. I ain't going to be here in 27 or 29. Yeah. What do I care? So it's your issue to deal with, not mine. And I feel that, because as a player, I'm still trying to get the bag. I'm still trying to, yes, Braun is a billionaire athlete and all that stuff. He has all these great businesses. He's doing well for himself. But as a player, still playing, that he's setting an example and a precedent for the younger players that are coming along, that's saying, you need to look out for you, because organizations do what? They look out for them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They, whatever's best for the organization, they will do. So they'll give you your money, but if they feel that you're no longer viable, they'll trade your ass. They'll ship you to Albuquerque, right? Me as a player, like if I decide to take less, right? Let's just say this. I decide to take less, and I no longer fit in their plans. I now costed myself millions of dollars for a team that has no loyalty for me. Yep.
IT.
And I can't get that money back.
Yeah, Zay Thomas.
I can't get that money back because the next team is going to look at the contract that I just signed, taking a discount. They're going to be asking for that too.
But I got a question though. Just for clarification. Westbrook is dead because of who?
LeBron. However, he's there because of management. I can be able to come to you and say, I want this player. I think this player is going to fit. It's your responsibility as an organization to look at the data, see what happens in regards to fit, look at his game, see how it applies to the current team that you have, and say, you know what, LeBron, we're going to consider it, but I don't think that it's a necessarily great fit for this team.
How many teams are telling LeBron that though?
The teams that win. See, the thing is, there's a level, right? Jordan wanted all North Carolina guys on the Bulls. Krause said, we're not doing that. We're going to get guys in here that can be able to help you maximize this team. Those guys that you want are not good players. These guys that I'm bringing in are good players. You have to be able to tell your star players who's the boss. We have a working relationship, but at the end of the day, it's my decision who comes in here and who doesn't. And Anthony Davis was a good move to make. Russell Westbrook wasn't. And that's on the organization. LeBron can tell you who he wants and who he doesn't want. It's up to you to make the decision because they had the deal for Buddy Hield on the table. And at the 12th hour, Russell Westbrook becomes a Laker.
That's because of LeBron, though.
No, that's because of Russ.
LeBron has to eat some of that because if we're going to give him the praise of putting together other teams and giving them championships, which he has, which is why
you got to give him the blame of Westbrook, though.
GM. But he has to get the blame of Westbrook because even at the time of the last trading deadline, he wasn't going hard for them to trade Westbrook.
Yeah, he was.
He still wanted them on the team.
No, that was the whole sticking point, is that he wanted them to right the wrong and get rid of Westbrook. And the Lakers did not want to attach compensation to get rid of him. The same reason that they're doing now. He would have been gone if the Lakers didn't care about draft picks. He'd have been gone.
So that's where the mortgage our future statement
That's
came
where
in.
the whole situation
I thought
is.
That was the offseason.
No, it's about they don't want to give up their leverage.
They got to care about those draft picks because at the end of the day, LeBron's not going to be there.
Nah, bro. The Lakers have never won with draft picks.
That's where I disagree with you because when you look at other teams that have won, when Cleveland was winning, when they got to 4 straight finals with LeBron, they didn't give a shit about draft picks. They were way into the luxury tax. Because that's what great teams have to do to stay great. You have to be in the luxury tax. The Lakers are operating like a mom and pop deli where they don't want to be in the luxury tax because Jeannie Buss is watching dollars. You can't watch dollars. You can't watch dollars as well as compete for championships. You have to choose.
Utah can do that.
You have to choose, right? Utah can do that. Atlanta can do that. Oklahoma City can do that. Houston can do that. Lakers can't do that. You can't tell your fans, yeah, we want to win, we want to compete, but at the same time, you're watching luxury tax. Because when you think about the Golden State Warriors and what Joe Laker pays for that team, he's a repeat offender. They call it a repeater tax based on how much you're in the luxury tax. He don't care.
But that core is all built off of draft picks, though, right?
Well, they don't really have their draft because they trade stuff. They trade their draft picks. If they need to compete, say they wanted to go get Kevin Durant. Say they actually wanted Kevin Durant. They call the Nets and say, what do you want? You want Wiseman? You want all these people? We'll give it, because it's about winning championships for them. They don't care about future. They care about maximizing the window that they have with Steph, with Clay, and Draymond.
There's no guarantee.
And there's no guarantee that you're going to win a championship down the line with draft picks. So it's like you have LeBron in your building right now. What do I care about future moves? If you can get me Kyrie Irving right now, and Kyrie, LeBron, and AD is the best trio we've probably seen in a long time because they fit together. They fit. Russell Westbrook doesn't fit. That's why it didn't work. Kyrie works. But you're telling me that, oh no, we don't want to give up too much compensation. Then you don't want to win.
So the only pushback I have, the only pushback I have on the Westbrook, I don't think they're using the way they wanted to use him, the way that they signed him. Because you just told me that the trio didn't work, and the trio doesn't work. I don't think they signed him to be part of a trio.
Yes, they did.
I think they signed him to be the head of the second team.
No.
When LeBron and AD not playing, when they're not, for somebody to get them through the season. That's what they needed.
If you had the expectation that Westbrook was going to do that, you made the wrong choice.
That was one of the initial expectations, that when LeBron gets hurt, or if AD gets hurt, Westbrook can help carry them through the season. When it's playoff time, we can turn it back up and go.
And what they didn't realize, like a lot of people didn't realize, is that Westbrook is cooked. He's been cooked. But the thing is, the triple doubles make people believe that he's this great player. No, the mistakes have always been there. The air balls have always been there. The bad plays have always been there. The crazy amount of turnovers have been there. All of it has been there. The low efficiency, all of it has been right in front of your face, and it just showed itself on the biggest stage in basketball. That's what the Lakers do. When you come here, it exposes your weakness for the world to see. You can be able to be in OKC and hide that shit. You can go to Houston and hide that. You can go to Washington where they don't care about basketball down there. You can't do that in LA. Can't do that. So if management thought like you, they all need to pack their bags. They all need to pack their bags.
Westbrook, everything that Westbrook achieved.
She has so many people in her ears, man. She got the Ramby, Kurt and Linda, husband and wife. I didn't even know Linda was that big.
Linda's her best friend.
Their organization. Then you have Pelinka. This guy used to be an agent, so agents don't want to work with him. He screwed people over in his pack. What's
Facts.
that Carlos Boozer
Oh,
signed to
man, yeah.
one team, and then Robert Pelinka.
They had a handshake agreement, and then he did some backdoor dealings and got him a better deal.
Yeah, so anytime Rob Pelinka's in the deal, the agent who ever dealt with him
Try-
in the past is
they're trying to swindle him.
squeeze on
Yeah,
him. So,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, man.
Of course.
There's too many people in there, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, man. I think
mourning over Kobe.
I think exactly. Like you over here drunk texting at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, what's wrong? You owner. You owner. Act like one.
Wow, bro.
But moving on to the last topic before the dummy of the week. The Live Golf Tour. The golfers have taken a stand, y'all. They said enough is enough. The PGA, they want to try to expose us. They want to try to manipulate us. They want to try to hold us to this contract. And we want out of it because we are not being treated fairly. We are not treated the way we're supposed to be treated. And we just want to be live golfers full time. And PGA's like, yeah, you can't get out of your contract. It's a breach of contract. Where in the bylaws is it a breach of contract? You don't have a monopoly on the sport. It's just the fact that nobody had any money to compete with you before. Yep. Now you have somebody that got the money to compete with you, and you're nervous. That's the problem with the PGA. It's the fact that it's not about them looking at the competition and say, oh, Liv has nothing. They got nothing on us. They're scared. They're very worried. They should be. And their behavior. You got Tiger Woods coming out sounding like a dumbass. I don't think this is a good. Shut up. You've made billions of dollars off golf, and now you got somebody else that's trying to get their money, and you mad.
Yep.
Now, how does that make sense? You made billions of dollars playing golf, but these people trying to get their money, they trying to get their come up, but you hating.
You can't do that because at the end of the day, if Liv is gonna sit there and pay them what you got paid by PGA, right, you can't be mad at them.
Yeah, exactly. Like how you gonna try to be mad at somebody else's money?
Yeah, I don't know.
What are your thoughts?
Golf, but no, I saw the article. They offered him $750 million. That is a crazy amount to turn down. But they knew what they were doing. If you get Tiger, you get everything. And
you get Tiger, you crush the PGA.
You crush the PGA.
Just the fact that if you get your name in the news with Tiger turning you down,
right?
You sit there and you elevate yourself. Like it's a win-win situation. It's all press.
This is what capitalism was always supposed to be.
Right.
There's competition.
Exactly.
And so we can't complain now. Now, PGA can complain. They're the ones about to be crushed, so that's fine for them to complain. But to sit here and try to find players or make it like you can't leave, like, no, there's no laws that say I can't play for another league. And I mean, do your business better. That's what real competition is. If we have these live people coming in with all their money, make the PGA better. You may not be able to compete with them financially, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things the golfers were asking for over the past few years that you have said no to that you can now maybe crack open. Maybe give them some more of the advertising money, which I'm pretty sure they weren't getting anything of. Like, the PGA is not like the NBA, NFL, or MLB. They have to be run with a certain level of mom and pop because they're not that big.
Right.
But when a real corporation comes in, you either pay your players or change your laws. And if you're not willing to do either,
you're going to lose.
You're going to lose.
That's it. It's very simple. Very, very simple. PGA, y'all need to wake up, smell the competition, and stop crying. Stop crying. It's just simple. It's simple, basic situations. Just stop crying and just do better. Just do better. Stop trying to be this old guard of, you got to be quiet when the guy is... We want excitement.
Yeah.
All right? We want excitement. Especially the outfits. Maybe Liv can be able to do something better with the outfits. The outfits is corny. They need to change the whole gimmick. Is
the PGA going to punish Nike if Nike decides to start working with Liv? But no, they got smoke for the players.
I mean, I don't know. It's probably... Who knows? Who knows?
That's a good question.
Who knows, man? They might be some big-time ramifications, but if I'm Liv, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, they don't care.
I got money. I could be able to buy any sponsor I want.
I mean, gas keep going up, right?
Exactly.
That'll be all right.
Yeah, so, you know what I mean? But we're gonna segue into the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week, after the break. Welcome back, y'all. So without further ado, the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week. We pick Dummy of the Week every week. I don't even want to look at Claude because he's going to say something wild, crazy about... I'm going to ask him who it is. Who do you think it is, Claude? You don't have a slick comment today? Nicole, what do you think?
NFL.
Not bad. What about Jeff?
Yeah, I was actually rocking with Nicole. I thought they were going to get Dummy of the Week for setting up this whole sham of an investigation about to give us the verdict that they really wanted to begin with. But
Interesting. What about you, Al?
I'd have said Roger. I'd have went right there.
Okay, so I will tell you
the self-snitching quarterback.
in a second. May I have the drum roll, please? And the winner for Dummy of the Week is the NFL. The NFL are my Dummies of the Week. Because how can you botch this as bad as they've botched this? Like, I thought that they hired smart people in these situations. I thought that, like, when it comes to big money, big corporations, they say, all right, listen, we need the smart people here. We need all the guys that are college graduates. They have Summa Cum Laudes and all this shit. We need these people because they understand how things work. They dot the I's and cross the T's. They do all of this stuff. They make sure that they think ahead. They're progressive thinkers. No, not the NFL. Not the NFL. They just go about business on a day-to-day. See what happens. And then when things come up, they're like, oh, we never thought about it. How can you not think about that? How does that make sense? The whole Stephen Ross thing, to me, that tipped the cap for me. I don't even care about Deshaun Watson. But the fact that you looked at my man Flores and say, hey, I don't think that was real. What? What type of fairy tale? What type of nonsense are we talking about here? That you can be able to look at Stephen Ross and say, you are a piece of shit. Yeah. You whatever you did is dastardly. But I know you were joking here. I know that when it came to the black man, you were just kidding. What are we doing? And now when I sit here in this chair, right, and I thump my black card, people gonna look at me like I'm crazy. How does that look? So Flores, is he in the NFL? I think he has a job, right?
With the Steelers, yeah.
With the Steelers, yeah. So I'm glad that he has a job because in other cases he'd be blackballed and vilified and not have a job. Look what they did to Kaepernick. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But it's just funny how the NFL continues to trip over themselves, and they're supposed to be the gold standard of leagues. I don't think that they're the gold standard of leagues. The gold standard of leagues is the NBA. NBA does things the right way all the time. Like, if the NBA had issues like this in regards to domestic violence and, like, look what they did with Miles Bridges. Yeah. Miles Bridges is excommunicated. They don't even speak about him.
NFL, he'd be playing next season.
You know, exactly. Yeah. Like, what are we talking about here? But people love the NFL, right? People love the NFL, and it's very hypocritical for me that people will sit there and thump the NFL and say, oh, NFL is the best thing, but yet you don't like domestic violence, you don't like this, you don't like that, but yet the NFL botches it every time, and you turn the blind eye to it. Why? Because you just want your entertainment. So why don't you turn a blind eye in other situations? Makes sense, right?
A lot of sense.
There you go. You see, I bring logic to the show here, Al. You know what I mean? I appreciate you coming today because you see the nonsense and the craziness up front, but you also see the logic. I make sense. The NFL doesn't. So the NFL, you guys may think that you're this billion-dollar company and everybody loves you. Not today. You're the biggest losers today, but you're the winner for Dummy of the Week. That's all for the show. Claw, thank you for coming. Nicole on the ones and twos, I appreciate you. Jeff, Al, it's a pleasure having you guys here today, man. You know, you guys brought your NFL insight here. You know, I think Jeff, you're the bigger villain today than I am. I think when people watch this,
I have to wear the hat.
Yeah, I think people watch this and they're like, you know, that guy Jeff,
like that
guy Jeff is a piece of shit. You know?
I don't have as many followers, so I can take the slings and arrows, bro. I did it for the show.
You're gonna have a few more today.
Oh man, listen, I'm okay with being the villain. Like I told you, man, I don't really care. Like, the more people hate me, the more people don't like my stances or they get very emotional, I'm just gonna go further in
and just let them go on Jeff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna continue to do what the hell I want to do. So you know, until next week, y'all, stay safe, stay cool, peace. You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at All Even Podcast. Listen to the show on Podbeam, Amazon Music, Spotify, and wherever you find your podcasts available. And check out my YouTube channel, All Even Podcast. And don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button.
My son is the champ, so get over it.